Max is there. So if you all right, so I hope there's other Autodesk products like Inventor is there and 3ds Max is there. So if you have tried 3ds Max, there is a form modeling environment. So
There's
that
other
flexibility
Autodesk
is
products
also
like
introduced
Inventor
in
is
Fusion
there
360.
and
If
3ds
you
Max
have
is there. So
some kind of
if you have tried 3ds Max,
conceptual
there is a
vision
form
which you
modeling
want to
environment.
create, what you
So
don't
that
have other
flexibility is
Autodesk products
also
like
introduced
Inventor
in
is
Fusion
there
360
and
if
3ds
you
Max
have
is there. So
some kind of
if you have tried 3ds anything. So you can just use the form, the sculpt environment where you can give shape to your ideas and you can create the concept. Later on, you can extract the drawings and everything, but for the initial conceptual, for the concept visualization, you can use the form modeling, right? So this is something a brief intro about Fusion 360. So yeah, this is another a CAD tool, but not only a CAD tool because there are a lot of flexibilities as I already mentioned, like we have form modeling, a cloud-based technology, and there is another thing that is a generative design. So generative design, I'm sure all of you are aware of the generative concepts. So generative concepts is like suppose if you are given with some problem statement, some boundary conditions, and you need to design one component out of those, right? So how many maximum designs you can create? So our brain, human brain, we can think of, let's say, five various design for a single component, 10 design, 15, 20, right? But software can come up with n number of solutions by applying all the permutation and combinations. So that is the beauty of generative design, and that can be done with the help of Fusion 360. Okay, so like these are some different things available in Fusion 360, which we can do, which we can perform. And next is broad applications, like Fusion 360 is an excellent tool for precise modeling of 2D and 3D objects. But you can do much more with it, such as animate your designs where you can apply the joints. And after applying the joints, you can animate the joints and you can see the full animation of the assembly. You can simulate the component, you can have a good render out of the software. Also, you can use other render tools, the applications, if you want the good rendering. But there are a lot of aspects available in Fusion itself by using which you can have good rendering. And many small and large businesses use the platform for designing and prototype their products, as Fusion 360 offers CAD, CAM, and CE possibility. So as this thing I have already mentioned, this is a Fusion. That's why its name is Fusion 360. Because when you are performing a CAD operation, after that, if you want to do some manufacturing, like you want to generate the codes and everything, and after manufacturing practices, before manufacturing practices, you can also analyze the part with help of the CAE environment of Fusion 360. So all those things are available there. And last, you can also generate the generative drawings. So that's why it's a combination of everything. You don't need to switch to any other tool if you want to do any such type of operation like CAD, where you can design some complex shapes. We have the form modeling where you can design the concepts. We have solid modeling where you can directly use the sketch-based features, engineering features, dresser features, and everything. So that is the design environment, and you can have shapes out of design. Your voice is not audible. 3D modeling software is like Blender. I'll share some documents with you, and I'll answer. I'll try to answer all the questions after some time. So in this time, let us go with the presentation. Okay. So after the design, we have manufacture, as I already mentioned. So this software is really user friendly, and the manufacturing environment of Fusion 360 is really great. You can do the 2D, 3D, 3-axis machining, 5-axis machining, that is also known as the multi-axis machining. And there are a lot of video tutorials or the Autodesk assets available in Autodesk Design Academy that I'll show you, which you can access. You just need Autodesk account, and after creating the account, you can access all the Fusion 360 tutorials from Autodesk Design Academy. right? So manufacturing, if you want your object to produced in a CNC machine, and you can also use the post processor to generate the codes for your component, and you can create the tool library. You can use the custom tools. If you have library from your manufacturer, you can directly import that, or you can, it's really easy, it's really fun if you are using the software, if you're using the manufacturing environment of the software. We just need time to go, like we just need to go step by step for all these operations, right? So similarly, we have render, as I mentioned. Rendering is another capability of this tool. So where you can render, you can have some good images of your products from Fusion 360 only. But again, if you want good render, so there is another application available for Fusion 360, that is Keyshot, which you can find in application in the Autodesk Fusion application gallery. You can download it, you can use it along with Fusion 360, and you can apply more rendering effects in Keyshot. So similarly, we have animation. So animation is like where you can apply the joints and you can see the actual animation of your machine. Like you can club, you can apply the joints. You can link the different motions together by using the motion link. Suppose you have two different motions where there is no link in between those two joints. So that option is also available by using motion link and motion studies. We can connect multiple joints together and we can have the full-fledged animation of our component. So that is the animation part. And simulation is there where you can analyze your part, you can apply the pressure, the loads, forces, and you can apply the fixed areas, you can apply the constraints, and after that you can optimize your part for certain load cases. You can see the thermal. We have a different type of simulations available in Fusion 360, that is frequencies, model frequencies, static stresses, temperature. Can you hear me or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, that's great. Actually, I'm getting messages where I can see your voice is not there. Okay, so thermal stresses, structural buckling, and nonlinear stress analysis. So these are the different analysis. We have shape optimization as well. Shape optimization is kind of not fully generative design, because in generative design we need to specify some boundary conditions. But in shape optimization, we should have a component where we can apply the load cases, we can define the fixed areas, and accordingly, software will come up with a new design where we can remove the mass. So shape optimization is best used where we need to make a lightweight component where we can remove the mass from the existing solids. So Autodesk resources are there. I'll share that with you later after this webinar. So you can go through the Autodesk resources, Autodesk Design Academy, and there are a lot of courses related to different modules of this software, like for CAE, for CAD, and for CAM, right? Cloud, as I already mentioned, this is one of the cloud-based software. So what is cloud actually? So let's take a small example. All of you are using the mobile phones, right? And in our mobile phones, they are with the different different sizes. Like some of the mobiles may have 32 GB memory, some of them have 64, 128, and so on. So just just think about it. All of us are having these devices, and we are saving our data on those devices. We have computers, hard disk, and everything, pen drive. But if we talk about the Google, like we all have social media like accounts. Where if we talk about a LinkedIn, uh, LinkedIn is a professional account. We have Facebook, Instagram, where we are uploading the pictures. So just think how much of data these big giants are handling. So this is too big, and we cannot store this much of data in like in any 2 GB, 256 GB, or 1 TB type of devices. So for like for those type of things, cloud came into the picture, because with the help of cloud we can handle the data. And Fusion 360 is the first software who introduces the cloud, where you don't need to save your data in the computer, in hardware, or in any hard disk or pen drive. Or if you want to share that data with anyone, it's not like you have to send through email or through any hard devices, because this software has its own uh, has its own cloud where we can save, we can manage the data, and from the software only we can directly share the data with other team members. Like we can create the teams here, we can invite n number of people to join our team. So team is something like BIM. Uh, BIM is another kind of trend in the manufacturing industry and industry 4.0. I hope you all are aware of those things. So BIM is building information modeling. So this is not only related to buildings. Building information modeling is related to everything, like in manufacturing, because it's a planning where we can plan the whole process from scratch to the last, right? So in BIM, we used to work in a teams. Similarly, in Fusion 360, you can work in the team. You can assign the different tasks. You can define the roles because with help of teams, you can define. We have that capability. Like if you are a moderator, you can define the role to the other team members. Like they can edit the project, they can view the project, or they can just or they can share or not. So all those things are available in the Fusion teams where you can control everything, right? So that's why cloud is really beneficial for managing the data. There is option in case if you want to save your files on your computer or any hard disk, that option is also available. You can use the export option, and you can also export the files in universal formats. Like if you want to open the Fusion 360 file in any other software like Creo Element, SolidWorks, or any other software, there you can open it. And there is another user friendly approach in Fusion 360 where you can directly open the like other software files in Fusion 360, like CATIA file. You don't need to export the CATIA file in different format. You can directly open the CAD part or solid part in Fusion 360 without exporting into the different format. So that is another advantage of using Fusion 360, right? So Q&A that we will discuss later. So this is just a little brief introduction about the software, like what is Fusion 360 and why we should use it. And right now, if you see, like most of the industries are going for the generative design concept. And there is a recent example from the Boeing industry where they have like replaced the existing panel with the generative design designed using Fusion 360. And by designing that panel with Fusion 360 and after introducing into the Boeing, they successfully reduce the weight of that component, which by reducing the weight, they have reduced the emission of carbon content, and the fuel efficiency has been increased for that Boeing. And if we talk about Volkswagen USA, they are also using this generative design approach. So this is a really good technology. Okay, so let's start now. So first of all, before taking deep dive into the software, first of all, I'll show you like how you can create the Autodesk account. Okay, so Autodesk account is important. I'm sure most of you are already having the Autodesk account. If not, then I'll show you the procedure. It's really easy for students. It's totally free. You just need to create the Autodesk account. You can use your college domain ID or your personal email. Does not matter. You just need to verify that you are a student. So for that, you can upload your ID card later, right? So let us start. That's good if you are already having the account. But in case if you are not having the Autodesk account, then we can just make it. So I'll show you. To create the Autodesk account, we will directly go to the Autodesk Education Community, right? So you just need to type Autodesk Education Community. So this is the key by typing, and it will take you to this web page. Here you can see software and services for educational. So you just need to click on this link, software and services for education Autodesk. I would have skipped, but most of the students might be having difficulty in creating the account. That's why I just need to show. Uh, it will hardly take 5 to 10 minutes, not an issue. So after going into this, here you can see it will take you to the main page of the Autodesk where you can start creating the account. So here, if you already having the account, you can sign in. Okay, but if you are not having the account, then I'll show you. I'm going to create the account of one of the candidate. So just click on the get products. Okay, and when you click on the get products, Now, education. So here you can see there are two important things, individual and class lab. So this is important, huh? So if you are a student, then we will obviously use the individual option. Class lab is also there. So faculties can use this option here. Okay. Like if faculties or like professors are creating their account, because they will get 125 licenses which they can assign to their students. So this option is available for faculties, right? But as of now, I'm just going to show you like to create the individual account. So here we have Fusion 360. So I just need to click on get started, right? uh, Bharat, I hope I'm audible to everyone. Okay. So here in Fusion 360, I'm going to click on get started, and then it will ask you to log in. So if you are already having the account, you can log in. Otherwise, if you don't have the account here, I'm going to click on the create account option. All right. So after that, uh, just hang on. Give me a moment. All right. Here. So here I need to define the country. So just type the name of your country. And after that, education role. So this is important. So as like if you're a student, then you need to choose student. If you're educator, you need to choose the educator. So if you are a teacher professor, so you need to choose educator, school, IT administrator, design competitor, mentor. Make sure that you have the valid ID proof. If you are a teacher, then obviously we need the ID proof of a faculty. If you are a student, then it should be mentioned, right? So anyways, I'm just going to make a ID for student. So here click on student. Then institution type, you can choose university, post-secondary, high school, secondary accordingly, right? And then date of birth. So just hang on. Date of birth. This is June 7 and 2001. Then hit next button. Okay. So just make sure you are defining the correct information here. And after that, the next step is your name. So make sure that you are specifying the name as per your ID card. So like first name and last name. And if anybody is not having the last name on ID card, they can just type no last name here. Okay. So like I'm just making it Bharat Jain. And then we need to specify the email ID. So you can use any email ID, your personal or college one, right? Bharat, you will receive an email after this. Okay, so you need to verify your account after this step. .ac.in, and then same way you need to confirm your email. Let's go j at cyit.ac.in, and then I'm just making a simple password for you, Bharat. I'll let you know later. So then you need to hit create account, and then it will ask you to specify the name of the education. So actually you don't need to type it manually. When you type the first two letters, three letters, or first name, see, it will automatically give you the full list of the available institutions. So see, IIT Roorkee, Indian Institute of Technology Roorkee, it's there. So I need to pick from the existing list, and then enrolled from date. So So I'm just going to make it rough. Uh, was something around June 2019 to July 2022. Then hit next. And now, Bharat, if you are listening to me, you need to check your email from where you can verify it. Now, you can see account set. Your account is now updated to access the Autodesk educational community, right? Then you can hit continue. And after that,